Hello, welcome to this drum lesson for Sweet Child O' Mine by Guns N' Roses. Okay, so classic song, obviously. Let's get right into this. So, intro, big guitar intro. Then we've got these crashes on one, and this nice little. It's kind of like a triplet on like beat 4. So you got, once the drums come in, you got a crash on one, and then you're keeping quarter notes on the left foot, and then like a little triplet on 4 to the 1. So that's like this. Okay? And then we've got this motif that happens a lot, which is like a floor tom snare drum build, where we hit a crash with the snare on beat 1 and then build for a bar. So that's like this, with the bass drum as well. Sorry, we're building for 2 bars. Okay? That happens a lot in this song, that kind of build is happening a lot. So building for 2 bars, and then there's a flam right at the end on the snare, just one flam. Later on in the song, there's a build. Oh, let's look at that build now, where there's 2 flams, so it's more like this. So that's happening later in the song when it's into one of the last solos, so it's the big solo. But all the other builds just have that one flam. Okay, cool. So the main pattern, the verse pattern, when it first comes in, it's on the ride cymbal. Although the first hit, if you actually listen to it, the first, I think this is kind of where they messed up and they just did an edit. But the first backbeat is actually on the open hi-hat. But don't bother about playing that. So the first kind of, when the drums first come in, kind of a riffy section. We're on the ride cymbal. So this bass drum pattern is the same as the verse, which is where we're doing kicks on 1, 2 and 3, 4 and then back to the 1. And that pattern repeats all through the verse as well. So I'll play that for you. It's like this. And that again, so this little motif happens a lot in the song. There's a lot of like drum riffs in this song. Very simple, but like that push section, do ga do ga is so recognisable, I think, for this song. So that is where you're doing. Let's do it on the verse. So we'll pretend we're doing the verse, because that's mostly where we're going to be doing it. So I'll play the verse pattern, which is the same but on the hi-hat. So that's like this. So yeah, that motif is, we're doing that bar. We do a backbeat on 1 and then we do the crashes on 3 and 4. Do gat, bass drum just before, so bass drum on 2 and. So you got 1 and 2 and. So you're going do gat do. So bass drum on 1 and then 2 and. But the first backbeat's on 1 and then 3 and 4 is on the crashes. And then back to the 1. So that motif happens a lot. So yeah, that's the verse sort of motif. Then we're into the I said motif a lot. Then we're into the chorus, which is similar to the verse in bass drum pattern wise, but we've got some cymbal pushes. So these cymbal pushes are, it's basically like a 4-bar pattern. So we're doing, on the first bar, we're doing cymbal pushes on 1 and 2 and on the first bar, and then 1 and 2 and on the second bar, and then beat 1 on the third bar, and then just keeping it flowing. So I'll play it for you and then we'll break it down. So it's like this. So yeah, so there we're doing bass drum on the first 2 bars, the bass drum slightly simplified. We're still keeping that like and 1, and 2 and 3, 4 and 1 and 3, 4 and 1 bass drum feel. But when we do the pushes, we're just doing bass drums on 1, 2 and on that first bar. Dush, dush, cat, dush, cat, dush. And then the 4 and 1, and then the third bar, just the crash on the 1, and then you keep that bass drum pattern from the verse. So the bass drum pattern is generally staying very, very similar for this whole song. So that's the chorus. We've got lots of solos, like I said. We've got these builds. When it goes into a solo section, slightly different. We're more on the keeping like a quarter note bell, and the bass drum pattern just flattens out a little bit. So it's like on beat 1 and 3, and then 4 and 1. So that's more like this. So yeah, notice there the bell is kind of playing the quarter notes. And the bass drum, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3. It kind of flattens out a little bit for some of the solo sections. The first 2 solo sections, I think. Yeah, the only other bits are the third, I believe it's the 3rd solo. It might be the 3rd or the 4th solo. So many solos. We've got this same kind of cymbal push thing as in the chorus. And then this extra little bit, which the extra bit is we're doing a cymbal, we're doing a crash on 1, and then 3 and 4. So again, those pushes are very similar to the kind of the T up motif from the verse to the chorus. One little bit right at the end, we've got this, the last chorus, we've got this like triplet thing where it goes da la 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 do, and that is just doing triplets between the cymbals. Sort of thing. Oh yeah, there is the breakdown bit, where we go to cross stick, and that's like kicks on 1 and then 2 ands. That's like this. yeah, that's the build I was talking about with the 2 flams at the end. That's the very last solo. And then you're into those pushes. So yeah, that's pretty much the whole song. Hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. Remember to subscribe to me and to look at my other videos and stuff. But yeah, thanks a lot. See you next time.